Welcome Chairperson sir, members of the authority, senior officers, all my colleagues and friends, and our chief guests, and our retiring officers and their family members. First of all, I request our retiring officers, please come to the rise and take their seats. Please sir. तालियां कह रहे जोर से बजाइए आपको प्यार कभी सबने बहुत देखा है भाइयों को मुझे पता है पर सब तालियां जोर से होनी चाहिए
उपाध्याय डायरेक्टर सीए सरकार रूम मेरे रूम के बगल में ही है। आज साहब अपनी इतनी इंपॉर्टेंट सर्विसेज देने के बाद रिटायर हो रहे हैं। कुछ शब्द मैं उनके बारे में कहना चाहूँगा। Shri Anand Upadhyay, Director CA, is a CS officer who started his career in November 1987, and after completion of 37 years of distinguished services in Government of India, is superannuating today. He joined the Ministry of Home Affairs in November 1987 and looked after Indian Police Services IPS section, Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, and UT services for 2 years. Thereafter, he was posted in PMO and handled public grievances sent to the Honorable Prime Minister, and thereafter was assigned charge of Foreign Investment Promotion Board from 1991 till end of 1995. From 1996 onwards till 2008, he handled important departments and prepared draft cabinet notes which were invariably sent to the Prime Minister's office prior to their placement before the cabinet. He followed tours of Prime Minister in India by preparing a booklet which Prime Minister takes along with him on any domestic tour. Further, all the announcements made by the Prime Minister during that particular tour was followed vigorously by him with respective departments and ministries. Sir was promoted as Under Secretary in June 2008 and posted in Ministry of Finance, where he handled the works of administration of Revenue Headquarters, and thereafter for quite a substantial period handled the cadre of Indian Revenue Services in Central Board of Direct Taxes. For some time in 2014, he was assigned the charge of customs also, in which duty drawbacks given to the exporters were finalized, and in this assignment he decided the duty drawbacks under the chairmanship of Member Planning Commission and other members of CDEC. He was posted to Ministry of Power, where he looked after the charge of Deputy Secretary Finance and Budget. He was assigned the charge of energy conservation, energy transition and state thermal unit thereafter. In the month of July 2022, he joined CA and was assigned Director of Finance and Budget Accounts, Pension and IFD Works. I would not take much time, so many programs are planned for today's function. In the last, I pay him personal regards on completion of this important milestone of his life and wish him a healthy life post-retirement. Thank you.
Respected Chairperson, Honorable Members, Secretary Sir, and all the senior officials and colleagues who are present here. So before giving any sermon on budget, which I would take at the end, I would briefly summarize my bureaucratic journey, which started in 1987, November, when I came from Patna, from Magadha Express, and joined Ministry of Home Affairs in the IPS section, where I was assigned the fixation of seniority of DSP vis-a-vis the direct recruit IPS officers. So that was, since you come from a college, you have virtually no idea. So just I will cite one incident. My director at that time was Mr. Sandeep Khanna. He was Director Police and Energy. So just after joining, 6th day or 7th day, he called me. Mr. Anand, you will have to go to Mumbai. There is a court case there for this relating to court disputes, and you have to talk to the advocate and you have to settle it down. So I told sir, I was in college. Today is my 7th day in IPS. It would be better if you assign this work to anybody. Then he said, then it was wrong on the part of the seniors to send it to me, and then he talked to me in detail, because at that time I was taking civil services. So for half an hour he taught me what books he was reading on history and sociology, And then he always took care of me. After that, I went to PMO. In PMO, initially I handled that public grievance cell, where earlier all the people used to meet the Prime Minister at his residence, and then the Principal Secretary to the Prime Minister used to give directions on those petitions. And then we used to take up those petitions with respective ministries and departments. Subsequently, when in 1991, and the chairperson was late C.N. Verma, Principal Secretary to the Prime Minister, and there were 4 core members of that FIPB, Secretary Commerce, Secretary Industry, and I remember at that time the proposal of Enron Power had come. So at that time that concerned Secretary Power had come, and there was a detailed deliberations, and Montek Singh Ahluwalia was there in the meeting, and he vociferously opposed about all those things of the Enron, because he was not very happy with the propositions which they had come. So that was one of the very great experience of the 4 years in FIPB, because I was just section officer, and I was preparing a note for Empowered Committee on Foreign Investment worth 300 crores. Now that ceiling has raised. And for Cabinet Committee on Foreign Investment, which was more than 300 crores. For that 4 years is one of my best period of my this entire bureaucratic landscape. And then after promotion, I handled the cadre of IRS, but it was very messy kind of service, because Indian Revenue Service, some people jokingly called it Indian Rupiah Service, and that I saw there. Because in that 4 years, it was very difficult for me to handle those things. But anyhow, with my meticulous this thing, I could scrape through that handling of that cadre. And then for CBEC, that duty drawback unit, again a very this thing. I had no experience how duty drawback rate on a leather would be decided, on a sporting goods would be decided. Because once you decide the rate, on that basis, exporters all over the India are given compensation. So that is very technical thing. But then it is the fallacy of our bureaucracy that without giving any training, they just assign you the file and the work. But anyhow, I managed that with a very short period of 1 year. Then I joined DOPT. DOPT, I handled the vigilance of IAS of entire country. And that was one of the most enriching experience of my life, because I saw how so many cases, how many some people are just unnecessarily trapped. Most of them are promotee officers, very few direct recruit IAS officers. And that was another enriching experience. Then I became Deputy Secretary, joined Ministry of Power. And then Sir was there, Chairperson was there. I had a very nice experience meeting him on any issues. And I was given the charge of finance and budget. And it was my 10th day or 15th day, I got a file from my section. And in that, there was something called pen stock. I did not know what the pen stock is all about. So I asked my under secretary, कि भाई आपने ये जो 400 करोड़ 500 करोड़ का ये जो पेन स्टॉक का दिखा, ये पेन स्टॉक होता क्या है? यानी से कि सर मुझे क्या पता, वो सर जो हाइड्रो डिवीजन ने भेजा, मैंने सर आपको दे दिया. हम बोले यार ये फाइल अब मेरे बाद एफए को जाएगी और उसके बाद सेक्रेटरी को जाएगी, तो यू शुड एटलीस्ट नो, आप 2-3 साल से हो, हम तो अभी आए, व्हाट पेन स्टॉक इज ऑल अबाउट. देन आई sent an internal note to Bhalla sir. He was at that time power secretary. And I told him, sir, it is this thing that all people working in IFD should be taken to the site so that at least they are familiar with the basic aspects. What is run of the river project, what is the other things, what is pen stock, before writing anything on the file. So he agreed to my proposition and I took them to Sikkim. NHPC had a beautiful arrangement. They took us to all the plants. Then we took them to Himachal also, and then subsequently that scheme I have come to know has been scrapped. But of all those things, I would say that my coming to the CA is blessing in disguise. When I joined CA, the kind of tranquility and the kind of people I have met here, because I have realized that whatever India has to achieve in the terms of energy, the whole landscape and everything, every parameters has to be decided only by CA, because they are the think tank, they are the brain behind everything, and everything which we have envisaged of 2070 about the carbon neutral status, or about 500 gigawatt by 2030, or how the thermal is not to be scrapped but is to be continued along with the renewable, so that we are able to achieve our targets is one of those things. I always wanted to attend meeting here, like when Hitachi Energy last organized a meeting I attended, but some of the thing was going over my head. But anyhow I could understand so many things in that meeting. So with this, and lastly about the budget, this thing I would say that Karthik was an asset to me. But in spite of that, this time with the team of my budget section, we have prepared a budget, and I am sure that whatever we have projected to the Ministry of Power, so that would be honored without much cut. But there is, Chairman sir, there is something holding the expenditure in CA. There is some blockage in expenditure. Though we are getting money from MOP, but we are not able to utilize it. So, since I am debating and all, but my earnest request is that that should be accelerated, because then otherwise, from the next budget, we will not get whatever we are projecting. So, with this, I conclude my listing. I thank you everybody. I thank my budget team. I thank my cash team. I thank my IFD team, Sangeeta Meenaji, and SO, and all those officers, Mr. God, Mr. Aluwalia, and Jan Sahab, who has recently joined, but he has contributed a lot. And I thank you all for giving me opportunity to work with you, and also the pension section. Thank you, sir.
Good evening to all members of the authority. Sitting on the dais, श्री आनंद उपाध्याय जी, निदेशक, जो आज सेवानिवृत्त हुए हैं. आज दोनों तरह की दिवस है. एक तो है कि इट्स अ प्रीकर्सर टू दिवाली, सो आई थिंक एवरीबडी मूड इज स्लाइटली डिफरेंट, एंड शायद इसलिए आज थिन अटेंडेंस भी मुझे नजर आ रही है यहाँ पे. शायद आज काफी लोग छुट्टी पे भी होंगे. छुट्टी दिवाली का दिन है. लेकिन इस अवसर पे जो आपका प्यार है, जो आपने यहाँ दिया थोड़े समय के लिए सीए में, और आप जितने डिपार्टमेंट्स का मेंशन किया, आई थिंक आई कैन सी एवरीवन हियर इन स्पाइट ऑफ द फैक्ट कि आज छोटी दिवाली है. द वेरी फैक्ट दैट दे आर हियर व्हिच रिफ्लेक्ट्स योर attachment with them and the work that you have tried to do in CA. CA will be ever grateful to you for your services which you have rendered in this organization. आनंद जी से हमारी मुलाकात पहली बार शायद MOP में ही हुई थी, एंड मैं वहाँ कहता भी था कि PMO और MOP में ज़्यादा डिफरेंस नहीं है. The only thing is you have to shift P from one side to the other side. So if you shift from PMO, so P को यदि आप shift कर दें तो MOP बन जाती है. So he was shifted, and we had a very good association in ministry as well. Particularly जो finance वाले होते हैं, he rightly said कि pay stock क्या होता है. Most of the time I used to be consultant to IFD. उनको जो भी टेक्निकल इश्यूज फंसते थे वो कहीं और नहीं जाते थे, सीधे मेरे पास पहुंच जाते थे फॉर एनी काइंड ऑफ क्लैरिफिकेशन, which I think I have been able to religiously do it for around 10 to 11 years when I was posted as director or as chief engineer or joint secretary. आनंद जी का मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ पावर का एक्सपीरियंस और साथ साथ यहाँ आने पे हम लोग को बहुत अच्छा फायदा ये हुआ कि इनकी लाइजनिंग मिनिस्ट्री के साथ अच्छी रही, और इसका ये नतीजा हुआ कि अगले 2-2.5 साल में जो हम अपनी फाइनेंशियल स्थिति सुधार पाए हैं सीए का, उसमें इनका एक बहुत बड़ा कंट्रीब्यूशन है. इनकी पूरी टीम लगन के साथ सेक्रेटरी सीए के नेतृत्व में जो काम किया है, आई थिंक वो बहुत सराहनीय है. मुझे अभी भी याद है कि जब मैं जुलाई में यहाँ आया था, जुलाई 22 में, तो हमारी फाइनेंशियल स्थिति उतनी अच्छी नहीं थी. काफी बेसिक चीजें सीए में मिसिंग होता था. I mean, starting from paper to cartridge to anything that you name, I used to be told that it is not available in CA. I used to say, how do you work in that case? So slowly, I think we have been able to reach to a stage where fund is available. Everything is being released in time. That is what I have been told. Process have been streamlined. I am told that even medical, to the extent of medical bill, it is almost on the current month which is being released. So all these are a very positive and healthy sign of an officer who have utilized his 34-35 years of his career and tried to give his best to an organization in streamlining the things. And the net result is the officers of CA and the staff of CA are getting paid in time, whether it is medical, whether it is TA, DA or whatever you name it. I think there might be one or two slippages here and there, which still I say that even if it is there, kindly try to rectify so that at least no grievances are left to any of the employees. Honestly, Anand, I thank you for giving your honest feedback today that the stage has come that we have enough budget as on date, but we are not able to spend it. Last year also, we had to surrender a bit. This year also the expenditure is catching up, but it is still has not caught up to the pace where we should try to do it. There are teams, there are divisions which are doing their bit. I'll urge upon all the officers, all the concerned people to be more vigilant and try to see that we do utilize it, because the normal notion is what Anand has pointed out is if you don't spend, you will not get. So आपको कटौती होती जाएगी हर एक साल, and then again you will be back to what you were there 2.5 years back. So every one of you, whoever feels that this is your organization, you are living here, you are working here. This is what I have been trying to promote for the last 2.5 years here. जहाँ भी आप काम करते हो, जब भी मैं स्वच्छता अभियान के तहत आप लोग के यहाँ जाता था, आप लोग के टेबल पे भी जाता था, I used to say that it's you who is going to sit there. आप देखो वहाँ पे उसको कैसे improve कर सकते हैं, कैसे इसकी सफाई रख सकते हैं, कैसे इसका रखरखाव कर सकते हैं, CA में और क्या improvement हो सकता है. Give your suggestions. There are floor in charges, there are floor managers who can be coordinated upon. So endeavor is to see that the things improves, the working conditions of all the officers and employees of CA improves, and you are not bothered about these trivial issues. कोई पहले ना तो कोई एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव ऑर्डर के लिए, ना ही आपको बिल्स क्लियरेंस के लिए, ये सब चीज के लिए आपको बॉदर नहीं होना चाहिए. आपका ऑर्गेनाइजेशन टेक्निकल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, आपकी आउटपुट टोटली डिपेंड करती है कि आप टेक्निकल रिकमेंडेशंस क्या करते हो. as admin, as budget section, if you are able to provide that comfort to the technical staff, I'm dead sure that the technical staff efficiency will multiply 10 times. Because they will not be bothered about the trivial issues, and they will be focusing more on the